Let's finally settle the debate. Do you need a 2-page resume or a 1-page resume to be successful in this current job market to find your next corporate/tech position? My answer may shock you because you've been hearing otherwise for such a long time, and those who are giving you this advice have been recycling the same over and over again for the last 10, 15 years. Let me give you a little bit of a background. When I was attending university, I barely had the opportunity to connect with career counselors because they were super booked out and busy. Now, we had two separate types of counselors. We had academic versus career counselors. Academic was 100% amazing. I really liked my counselor, but the career counselors, those were another story. I believe this center did a really good job of bringing the right talent to them, but I feel like retaining the talent and getting them ready for the job market was a whole nother story. So all throughout, I only heard about have a 1-page resume, only have 1-line long bullet points, don't put too much in there. And the thing that they kept hammering in was the fact that you needed to have numbers. And for the life of me, I could not figure out how to find percentages, revenue, impact. When I'm just an intern, like I was just a freshman, sophomore, just trying to get my internships through the door. How am I supposed to talk to people in my, corporate setting that, hey, I'm filling out my resume. Can you share how much you made in growth this year? There's no way I was going to ask that. So naturally, all the emphasis became that one tiny part of the resume, which are numbers, but it can't be too long of a bullet point, and you need to have a 1-page resume. I would say the amount of money that you guys pay for school in the US, including myself, is absolutely crazy to begin with, but the fact that the way out of university, like to be successful post-university, is kind of not really there, in my opinion. I can't speak for all career counselors. I can't speak for any career counselors in my university because I didn't really meet them. I've seen some people give talks and I think they were good, but the amount of connection I had was very limited, so I really don't know. But the only thing I do know is that they kept telling us a 1-page resume with very simple bullet points. The problem with that, though, is when you tell entire generation of candidates who are getting ready for the workforce, you're going to have people that are competing with each other with the same mentality and the same type of way to, create the resume. So what was happening is when I faced the struggles of applying with a 1-page resume, having vague bullet points, because I really just didn't have much leeway, and I felt like if you were to get it reviewed, you kind of feel that judgment. I don't know, if you guys felt that before, but when I was trying to get, other people to look at my resume, anytime it kind of was a bit different, like it was a 2-pager, the first thing they would say is, oh, turn it into a 1-pager. Bro, you didn't even read anything that I have to say. Chill for a second. But the fact is, that would happen. I would feel defeated. I'm looking for my internships. I'm trying to pay my livelihood after university. I don't know how am I supposed to do that if no one's telling me the right guidance. So if you're here finally kind of sick of this entire debate and seeing people use this as fuel for, getting people to try out their templates and their little things, I find that so wrong because you're just only telling people random things. I've seen such terrible advice on LinkedIn, and oftentimes it's from people you wouldn't even expect. They're from industry, they have successful careers. I don't know who told them that or why they think they got the job because of that random piece of advice, but I've seen people say just random things. But to answer the debate, finally, you do not have to listen to anything else moving forward. I don't care if your family member tells you. I don't care if it's your successful cousin working in corporate. All that aside, this market is so crazy right now, but it's not oversaturated because it's saturated with people who have the wrong type of resumes, but it's not oversaturated with the people who do it right. That's why my clients are able to come to me, and within 2 to 3 months, they've been able to land their positions in corporate, in tech, with full-time 6-figure salary offers. And the best part is, on average, when my clients land their offers, they are able to negotiate an extra 5, 10, and my biggest so far has been a 20K increase in their salary negotiation, which is absolutely amazing. I feel super proud of all of my clients, and all of them had a 2-page resume. So mic drop. This is the moment that you only have to remember for the rest of your lives in your career. You only need to have a 2-page resume that actually does a really, really good job of sharing what your experiences are. Look, if you are someone who has 30, 40 years of experience, this advice is not for you specifically. The 2-page rule is mostly for people who potentially got laid off and they're a bit more early in their career. So for example, if you are a sophomore looking for your first internship, you have to pile in all of your academic projects, your extracurriculars, leadership, volunteering, teaching assistant roles, of whatever you've done so far to land that internship. And then if you are entry level, meaning you have internships, but it's only like maybe 1 or 2, you still need to pile in the projects. And that's going to get you your first entry level position out of college. I've also mainly worked with a lot of clients who are currently working in industry, but they are looking for that next high paying position and they already have 5 years under their belt. This is the part where you still need to maintain that 2-page resume. The 2-page resume is going to get you not only enough room to fit in your experiences, but it's only going to get better because now your bullet points have room to freaking breathe. Your bullet points should not be like optimize operational efficiency by 22% by using Excel and Tableau to streamline and automate internal processes. I see that every day. I worked with so many amazing clients, but when I would ask them, what does that mean? Like, who is streamlining this? Like, why are you streamlining this? Who is this affecting? Why did you have to do this in the first place? Like, what is the problem to begin with that you are solving? And 22%, like, tell me your percentages. Like, where did that come from? And every single time they couldn't tell me. And it was because they used either ChatGPT and they ran their existing, like, actually detailed bullet points through it and they removed all of the amazing details they could have had, or it was someone else just like telling them you need to infuse it with buzzwords or you need to over tailor your resume to the job description and get like every single type of buzzword and keyword from there to pass ATS. You're probably passing ATS if you have so many keywords in there, but you're missing the second person involved. The second step to get an interview is the actual recruiter. The recruiter will look at all of the things that pass ATS and they will make a decision on who they're going to call. And imagine you have an entire generation who has been misled. They have vague bullet points. They have something like this that they're using over and over again to submit to job applications with. And at the very end of the day, if you're not getting responses, you can't blame it on ATS the entire time. That's it. Like, you cannot do that. And the recruiter is going to make the decision on who they're going to call. So imagine if you are competing with other people who are in the saturated market, you are competed with very likely the same types of resumes. They are not seeing the differences. They don't see what you can particularly offer, like a percentage that's operational efficiency. I have no idea what that means. Like, I have no idea what you did. I have no idea who was involved in your team. I have no idea what your project was, what kind of markets or influences you had within your role. And after my clients start to tell me, like, we do a whole brain dump. They're verbally telling me every single thing they've done in that particular experience. I take all the notes. We realize that the bullet points they had never reflected what they did. And you are applying to positions that can actually, like, that are the same thing that you've done, but you are surprised that you're not getting interviews because what you've done, you feel like you're taking it personally because what you've done doesn't matter, but it does, but it was never shown. Does that make sense? So let me say it again. You have bullet points that do not show your worth. They don't best represent you. So what happens is, at this point, you're going to be stuck in a limbo. You're going to use the same type of resume to continuously apply. And every single time, the same people that told you 1-page resume, yes, every time you show them that, they're going to be like, oh, it's perfect. It's a good resume. I don't know why it's not working. Let me give you a referral. And then you're surprised when the referral doesn't go like work anymore, or you get an interview, but then you can't pass it because you have no idea what you're talking about either. And what I mean by that is your brain is like, it's a sponge, but it also has muscle memory. So if you have vague bullet points on your resume and you're so used to seeing that, naturally, when you start to talk about yourself, you're not going to really remember. You're not going to remember the tools and softwares you use. You're not going to remember the people involved. You're not going to remember the scope of the project. You're not going to pass the interviews. And that's not going to help you get an offer either, and let alone get an amazing offer if you do. This all starts from the resume. So to settle this debate once and for all, please have a 2-page resume, because you're finally going to allow yourself to have bullet points that have all the key parts. You're going to have it let recruiters know exactly what you bring to the table, and you're going to be the amazing candidate that they've been looking for this entire time. Which is why my clients, within their first couple of interviews, like whatever first they get after such a long time of searching, that just leads to an offer. They're doing so well. Like, it's so hard to find yourself in a process where you're not getting interviews, let alone not passing them at this point. So at the very end of the day, if you take nothing from this conversation, take this one thing. For your own sake, don't even think about the pages, because the pages at this point are just placeholders for the actual meaning of what I'm saying here, which is if you only have legit 2 projects, 1 volunteering, and 1 internship, and you have very detailed bullet points, that will fit in a 1-pager. Like if you have literally nothing else to add ever, you did a whole audit of your life and you're like, I have nothing else to add, fine. 1-page resume is okay. But that's not the case for 99% of the people. You've been active, you've been doing things, you had projects, you had capstones, you are a fully functioning member of society. Like it's so hard to go to school and not be involved with other things other than projects and internships. And if that's the only thing that you do worry about though, it's very hard to not have multiple of those experiences that you can add. So with that being said, give yourself the room to expand, have the ability to write multi-line bullet points. I would not go beyond 3 lines, and 3 lines should be used very rarely if you feel like it's just such a huge project. But 2 lines, get it done. You're gonna find that you're finally getting interviews again. In the next few videos, I will describe what it's like to actually write a very good detailed bullet point that will get you amazing interviews and offers, let alone just any offer, but an amazing 6-figure, able to break into tech type of offer. If you're tired of all of the misleading advice and you want to put an end to that today and find your next amazing position like yesterday, go ahead and check out the description. We have a free link to book a call with our team. The call is completely free. You show up with your resume, you're ready to do a quick mock interview with us to assess where you're at with your job search. You're going to leave with amazing tips and tricks on how to land your next amazing position, and that way you don't have to worry about any other piece of advice again. I've helped hundreds of job seekers break into tech, corporate, including health tech, fintech, ed tech, you name it, we've done it. Our specialty lies in engineering, any type of PM role, program, product, project management, any type of analyst positions as well, including financial, business, marketing analyst. And now we're revolutionizing the entire space, so we're now breaking into more of the medical fields as well. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit subscribe, comment any questions you may have, and I can make a video for that for you as well. And double check that you are following me on all my social media handles listed in the description below. And if you're really curious about my background, my LinkedIn is in there as well. And without further ado, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!